Welcome to Café Moonmartre, the new video show about crypto art. In every show, we have a guest, usually an artist, could be a gallerist or collector, but today we have an artist, a crypto artist from Mexico City. His name is Grillasca. Hello, Gus. Nice to have you in my show.
Hello. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. I'm super glad to be here.
Great. Okay, me too. Gus, you told me that you're originally a biochemical engineer. How did you get into crypto art?
Well, yes, my bachelor, my university degree is on chemical engineering, and then I made a postgrad studies in biochemistry and molecular biology and all that stuff. So I was living in Europe doing my studies, and then I started a startup, and then I was living in Barcelona, and there I got more and more involved with some anarchist community and forums, and there's where I started learning first about Bitcoin.
Okay.
Back in 2014, maybe.
But you
Yeah,
have
I
been
mean,
an artist before? You had already done some art while you studied, or did you just discover your talent?
definitely.
Yeah.
No. I think I've been an illustrator since as far as I can remember. Like I've been doing drawings in my notebooks since I was a little kid. So I think I have like a natural talent for illustration, but I never had a formal training as an artist or as an animator or as a painter, as so many other artists. I'm an self-taught
Mm-hmm.
artist.
Okay.
But I believe I'm I believe I'm talented. Actually, I believe I'm more talented than the average, definitely. But my professional focus has been always more in technology. So now these have helped me merge those two worlds and those two passions of mine. So I can do
Hey,
both technology and art.
that could even give you a certain advantage because I guess most artists have no clue about blockchain and crypto and all these technical things, and that for you is obviously more accessible, right?
Sure, for sure. Like I think I was already used to trying to explain abstract stuff to normies. Like when I was doing my research for my master's degree. Well, I was doing some molecular engineering, and that's like pretty abstract if you think about it. Like you need to 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 try to talk people into visualizing the model that you're working with, and that's not very straightforward.
Mm.
uh, so when I start playing around with Bitcoin and trying to understand the blockchain, I realized that it was kind of the same thing. Like I realized that most people uh, are not willing to take the time and effort to understand how the blockchain works, right? And I saw that as an advantage because I said, okay, I found the technology fascinating, and I thought at the time, okay, I'm going to try to understand how this works because I'm sure I can do it, and I also believe that this is going to give me some advantage because I wanna get more involved in this revolution because for me it was really exciting when I first learned about Bitcoin.
And when did you
And then
combine the two things, the Bitcoin fascination and art? How did that go together?
and yeah, a couple of years later, I was already involved in a few blockchain projects, and it was in summer, I believe September 2016. I was in a Bitcoin meetup in Toronto, and some guys showed me the Rare Pepe directory.
Hmm.
This was just a fortune. It was lucky of me for being in the right place at the right moment. I was already, as I said, involved in blockchain projects, and I was organizing some meetups. And these guys just show me the from birth how the Rare Pepe meme and tokenization of that meme started growing from the beginning. And for me and many more, this was like a life-changing experience, because I realized that this was going to have such a big impact and implications for the artistic community in general. Like people just doing designs and tokenizing them and selling them to a global market. That was something very, very mind-blowing for me.
Okay.
That's how I started merging both my technical knowledge, let's say, and I saw the opportunity of creating art and drawing and experimenting with the technology.
And from your point of view, what is crypto art? How would you define it as, opposed to other forms of art?
Okay, so I believe there's some people arguing that we should make a difference between blockchain art and crypto art and stuff like that. I don't know really the details, but basically what they mean is that some people have been painting Bitcoin logos from the very beginning of the blockchain technology, right? From 2009.
Crypto graffiti and all these guys,
exactly.
Just way before NFT, true.
Yeah, the OGs and in general, lots of people like Tatiana Moros. She's been writing songs about Bitcoin since I don't know how long ago. So that you could call that blockchain art or crypto art or Bitcoin art. I don't know. But then when I jumped into the crypto art scene was when the idea of what they call now NFTs, but at the time wasn't a no name. They call it also scarce digital art or crypto collectibles.
Yeah.
That's
non-fungible token. Yeah, maybe for the people who are not so into crypto.
Exactly.
NFT means non-fungible token. And what does it mean? What is a non-fungible token?
Yeah, non-fungible token, I believe, is not the best name because it doesn't describe with precision what it's meant to be. So non-fungible tokens it's a special kind of transaction on a blockchain that creates a token. Let's say this is a physical token, right? Let's imagine that we have this in digital form. So that's what, and if this is inside a blockchain, it means that it's inside an immutable ledger that anyone can see and track and trade and share and so on and so forth. So that's a token. When they talk about non-fungible tokens, it means that it's unique, that there's no other token similar to this, and it's impossible to confuse with a different one. That's what it means. That's what people mean when they talk about non-fungible tokens.
As opposed to money, right? Because if I give you that Bitcoin, you gave me another Bitcoin back, they're all the same. But in art, of course, every artwork should be different, right? That's the difference.
Exactly, like a Bitcoin or an Ethereum transaction, in theory, is fungible, meaning that you can not distinguish between your Bitcoin and my Bitcoin, which in reality is not entirely true because the Bitcoin blockchain does have a record. You can track the record of a transaction, so it's not entirely.
But they have the same value. I mean, I don't mind if you give me that Bitcoin, another, as long as it's one Bitcoin, it's fine. But of course, I do care if you give me a Picasso or some unknown artist, right? That's the difference. Right?
Yeah, theoretically, they have the same value. In practice, you can imagine some scenarios in where they don't. For instance, if I want to pay you with a Bitcoin that it's blacklisted by exchanges or by authorities, that might make my Bitcoin less valuable. But that's a different topic.
Yeah, that should not happen. Yeah, I mean, you don't want blacklists or anything like that. Yeah,
basically,
Bitcoin should be fungible. Yeah. But back to NFTs. Sorry, little excursion.
But back to NFTs, they for some mysterious reasons, and that's human nature, the term NFT really make it into the heads of the whole ecosystem, different from crypto collectibles or art tokens or crypto goods or whatever, digital scarce.
It's all the same, yeah? It could
It's all the
like
same, exactly.
synonymous. Okay.
So it just refers to digital objects that, because they are registered on the blockchain, they have some sort of scarcity, which allow them to gain market value. And this idea is super powerful. The idea itself, it's been around for a while. There's a famous post of Hal Finney, one of the founders of the blockchain, and the first guy who interacted with Satoshi Nakamoto. There's a post there from the 90s when he's talking about crypto collectibles, but the real use case started in 2015 and 2016 with the rare pepes, and then it just, from there it just lifted off, and we've been seeing an exponential growth since 2016.
Okay. Rare Pepe, I guess, was not on Ethereum yet in 2015. Yeah, probably not. It only, what was the technology then that was being used?
Rare Pepe was tokenized with a smart contract called Counterparty that lives on Bitcoin blockchain. So yeah, it's a protocol that it's pretty solid. It works well, but it's limited compared to Ethereum, which is way more versatile. Ethereum is what they call a Turing complete system, meaning that you can program, in theory, you can program anything you want. So therefore, Ethereum is way more versatile and people can do way more stuff. So eventually the whole market just jumped into Ethereum, and there is where we are seeing all the development and all the innovations.
Okay, let's talk about some of your artworks. You have prepared some. I mean, you have done lots of things, but of course we sum up the focus. Let's talk about the Satoshi first, okay? Everything started with the Satoshi. Yeah, this is, of course, this is the real Satoshi, yeah? The one and only who really invented it, right?
Well,
who's this guy?
Okay, so
For the ones who don't know him.
This is like a combination of an artwork and a meme and some history here. Probably this is my more iconic work because I made this work back in 2018. It's going to be a little bit more than 2 years ago. I actually made it for Art Basel in Miami 2 years ago, which, by the way, I'm going again the day after tomorrow. And so I don't know why no one came up with the idea before me, or at least not that I know, to put the face of Dorian Nakamoto in a banknote. So basically, Dorian is a regular guy, a developer that lives in the Bay Area. And at some point, I believe in 2012 or 13, because he goes by the last name Nakamoto, people just assumed that he was Satoshi Nakamoto, the creator of Bitcoin.
Yeah, it was a Newsweek. It was just one Newsweek journalist that he's the one. He was even on the cover story.
Exactly.
But it was then like easily debunked as just like, wrong, bad journalism, right?
Yeah. I can imagine the guy just like being overwhelmed by reporters. Suddenly, apparently a bunch of reporters just showed up at his door one day. And the guy apparently at the time didn't even know about Bitcoin. He's just a regular guy. He's a really nice guy. I met him in a couple of occasions in different conferences.
I interviewed him. In Bogota, and we pretended that he was a real Satoshi, and it was super fun to do. And it was so nice to do with him. Yes, really nice guy. That's true.
Yes, exactly. Super fun because it's already a meme. Like his face had become a meme since no one knows who is Satoshi Nakamoto. Probably it's a group of people. But he became the face of Satoshi Nakamoto. So I just thought it was funny. Most of my artwork always have like a little bit of humor in it. And I just thought it would be funny to put his face on a banknote because we don't know better. We don't have a face for Satoshi Nakamoto. So I decided to place Dorian's face in the place of Satoshi. And then you can see at the right of the artwork, there's a bank from the legacy system, a traditional bank that it's old and broken, and a Bitcoin flower is rising from the ruins, which you can read birth of cryptocurrencies. And then on the other side, making a reference to the $1 banknote, the US banknote, where you can see the triangle of the Illuminati, and it reads Novus Ordo Seclorum, which means New World Order. So I took that same idea and placed the triangle of the Illuminati, and it's been engulfed by the blockchain.
Because they are the ones who invented Bitcoin, right? The New World Order. They all want us to become.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, whatever.
Conspiracy. Well, yeah, that's the narrative, right?
Conspiracy.
The Illuminati and the globalists and the technocrat elite, they want to make a world order of dominance. And then, of course, Bitcoin is fighting against that to bring sovereignty to the individual and so on and so forth. So it's just part of the narrative, just putting some big icons.
So this is obviously some kind of animation, but I also saw the same image like printed out big in your studio. So how are these two things connected, the painting and the animation?
Yeah, well, it's good that you ask. At the beginning, I had a different strategy. I was thinking about doing those just 10 copies and try to sell them for 0.1 Bitcoin, so that the total value would be 1 Bitcoin, which is what the banknote says. But then I realized that it was better maybe to try to get exposure to that artwork as much as possible. And then eventually I might have the chance to sell the original, which is that one over there. You see it here?
Yeah, okay.
So, so that's the original handmade. I'll show it to you in a second. And so basically the digital one is been going all around the world since 2018. Like it's been in so many festivals and conferences, and I think it's pretty iconic. Most of the people that I know have seen it at least once here or there.
So you gave that out. You gave that away for free. That animation.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, sometimes not entirely for free. Sometimes I sell the prints, or if people request, I make a token and just send it to them. But yeah, it's almost for free most of the time, and just to get exposure, to get people to know the image, and then perhaps eventually in the future I might get a better price for this one over there. So I'm going to show you to you. Just give.
Yeah. The handmade one. Okay, so it was not Photoshop or Illustrator or something, but it was really hand drawing. Yeah. Okay.
This is ink on paper. This is the original, right?
Okay.
Obviously, afterwards I edited and make it a little better, and I made the illustrations separate. So I definitely improve it in the digital version. But this is the very first one, and this is just 1 out of 1.
Okay.
So
very non-fungible artwork. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's completely non-fungible, and it's very scarce. So, so yeah, those properties are now that I'm learning about scarcity in the digital world, which I never learned about that in the past. That's something important, apparently, for artists to
that was basically that was basically the problem, right, that digital artists faced in the past, that their art could never be scarce. Yeah, everybody could copy it for free, and so they could never make money out of it. And that's exactly the problem that crypto and blockchain is solving, correct?
You're entirely right. Yes, exactly. Before the blockchain, everything digital was could be copied as much as you want. But the blockchain introduces this, some people call it artificial scarcity, meaning that at least inside the immutable ledger, that artwork or whatever digital object you want, that it's tokenized, is scarce. So that creates the opportunity of gaining market value if there's demand for that object.
Let's have a look at let's have a look at your other artwork, this other one with the alien, because that's, as far as I know, a completely unique thing, and you have sold it on Super Rare, right?
This one is entirely digital, so there's nothing physical out of this artwork. I just went right through my tablet and draw it digitally and illustrate it and animate it digitally. So well, the idea behind this is that no one knows the origins of Bitcoin, right? Like because Satoshi is a mystery, and we know people that have been working with that technology before, but no, it's all surrounded by mystery. Therefore, any theory could be valid, like it might be true. And I've heard in different occasions. I remember vividly some recent interview with Max Kaiser saying something that someone asked him, what do you think that Bitcoin comes from? And he said, from aliens, right? Like,
okay.
Yes, it's possible, because if we don't know where it comes from, everything is possible. So I'm just playing with the idea that, yeah, perhaps some alien life form, as goes the title of this artwork, just came down and gave humans this superior technology to free themselves from the constraints of tyranny, let's say.
Like they brought the pyramids and other great things to humanity, right? Exactly. There are all kinds of theories about that, right? Okay.
Exactly. This aligns with all those theories. And I mean, it's not unreasonable to think that might be the case. It's possible. So if there are aliens out there and they have been in touch with humans, well, it's not entirely crazy to think that Bitcoin might have something to do with a superior intelligence, right?
Well, if they have superior intelligence, they would see that our monetary system that we have now is really bad and it needs to be improved. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly the story, right? That you can make out of it, and that's the premise behind this artwork. You can see an alien anthropomorphic being handing a floating coin that represents Bitcoin, and his brain is exposed. That talks about his superior intelligence, right? And I think it's just pretty cool artwork. I like the drawing. I think it's powerful.
Nice. Let's go back to the split screen, because I want to talk with you about like the business aspect, right? Because obviously there are new business opportunities by this, because of the scarcity, and now there are all these marketplaces. I heard that you sold this on Super Rare, right? Or you offered it. How did it go? And how does it work with Super Rare?
Yeah, pretty good. This was my first art on Super Rare, and it sold for 1.34 Ethereum. So yeah, that's a pretty decent price. Like,
that's okay.
Ethereum right now is almost like $600. So if you think about it, if you make a couple of artworks like this a month, that's, in a place like Mexico, that's a super more than decent income.
And if I learned it correctly, when somebody resells the artwork, like in the secondary sale, you will get a share, right?
Yes.
Unlike in the conventional artwork, once you sold it, that's it. Yeah. So the gallery makes the money. But now, if the collector sells it to whatever, a gallery, museum, you will get how much? 10%? Or how much you get?
I believe, yes, it's around 10%. So when my collectors resell my artwork in the secondary market inside the platform, you get a share of that sale. So that's apparently something very powerful, something that most of the artists are aligned with those values. And at the beginning, a couple of years ago, when people were talking about royalties here and there, I thought, man, that's impossible. Like the cyberspace is all anarchy. It's impossible to enforce those rules and so on. But then I learned that, like most people, we tend to gravitate around specific platforms. Like most people tend to communicate on Facebook or through WhatsApp, even though Telegram is better than WhatsApp. Most people tend to gravitate through Telegram, through WhatsApp. I mean, so the same is happening with all the all cyberspace. Most people are inside specific platforms. So if a particular platform tries to encode these values inside their platform, that's good enough. That works. And most people and most collectors are going to be just inside 2 or 3 big platforms. And this is what's happening. That's what we are seeing in the last couple of years. Most of, I will say, all of the big names, big artists and collectors, they are all on Super Rare. Some others on Known Origin or Maker's Place, but most of them are on Super Rare. And now Nifty Gateways is also gaining momentum. Everyone is on Rarible.
Yeah, this is a share on the secondary sale. That's only when it's inside the platform, or can it be
Exactly.
that it's not possible to have it in the token? It's something that's part of the platform's rules. Right?
Look, I believe that we might see some sort of consensus among platforms to try to implement these rules. And the reason I think this is because so many people want this. Like most people, the vast majority of people want these kind of rules, like royalties for the original artist in secondary and tertiary sales. So that I'll give you an example in a parallel situation. Forgery or piracy. So the same as with royalties, most people agree that forgery is wrong and piracy is wrong. Not everyone, but a lot of people. Therefore, there's some sort of consensus between platforms that if they find out that you're openly stealing an artwork from someone, you will get banned not just from that platform, but maybe your artwork may be taken down from a different platform. That's not to say that they take out your token, because that's impossible. Your token is in your wallet and no one can take it out from you. So you can always show that piracy artwork in a third platform. But at least in platforms like Super Rare, you're going to get banned. In platforms like Known Origin, I remember a post by one of the main people from Super Rare saying that they are working in some sort of agreement with other platforms to take down works that are demonstrated that are a theft or piracy. So I know that's possible, and I think that's going to happen sooner or later. Because we humans, we like to have those rules to organize our society, right?
Well, it's good rules if they're fair. That's
guess,
okay.
yeah.
For instance, that the artist gets a fair share of every other sale. I think that's a very good idea. Yeah, because usually when the artist is unknown and young, he sells it for like not much. Yeah, but then later he gets super famous, but he has nothing of the sales. Yeah, and it should be like that. Yeah?
And one of the things that I see that is getting a lot of pullback is the idea that me as an artist make a sale for X amount, let's say $600, and a few years later, my collectors resales the same artwork for
600 million.
Exactly, $6 million. So apparently, for most people, that's a red flag. They don't like it. They feel offended. They feel abused. So that's also a rule that's also a thing that it's going to bring some rules of fairness into the ecosystem by royalties or some other strategies.
Yeah. Let's go to the third artwork that you selected. This is Dr. Vaccine, right?
Yeah, this is the Dr. Vaccine.
Okay, just fresh on the market, right? Just now, yeah?
No, actually, this was sold a few months back on Rarible.
Oh, okay. I thought this is a commentary to the current situation with that paranoia or
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
hysteria, whatever you want to
Yeah,
call it. Okay,
it
yeah.
definitely comes from the COVID crisis, from the
Yeah.
pandemic. But we've been in the crisis already for almost a year.
Oh, that's true.
So
Yeah.
I draw this maybe back in summer. I don't remember exactly when, and I put it on the market on Rarible, which is is the most open platform, and most all the crypto artists that are playing with NFTs, I believe, are on Rarible. I mean, it would be crazy not to be there because they were basically throwing away money. They were giving tokens to all the users. Now those tokens are not so much, but anyways. So this sold on Rarible. I think the my collector is Johnny Dollar. I believe so. He's the one that owns this artwork at the moment. And yeah, it's okay. So here I'm talking about what was going on, the paranoia, as you mentioned. Uh, I can see this dystopian scenario that we are heading to, in where we are going to be injected or we are going to be forced to take a vaccine. And I couldn't think about something more scary than this iconic mask of the plague doctor from the medieval ages, right? Which they use this mask with the shape of a bird, and they were just going in between the corpses and sick people in those years. So this scary face, I just adapted it to modern times, so it's a little bit more of a cypherpunk touch.
Like a Terminator or something,
Like
right?
a Terminator. If
Yeah.
you see the hand is
Yeah.
a robot, so
Mm.
maybe an AI is behind it, and it's carrying this syringe, threatening to hit you, to inject you with something that you might not be entirely happy with it.
Yeah. I
And you can
saw. Yeah. Sorry.
as you can see at the background, a urban scenario. So this is obviously not taking place in the medieval ages, but it's something that's happening now. And yeah, I also believe that it's also a little bit funny at the same time because it's got a little cartoonish touch. So I really like it. And this technique, the cross hatching technique that I used for the original drawing, I believe it's really nice. I really like this one.
Yeah, okay. I saw that the animation, the file of the animation has the title Endlösung, yeah, final
Yes,
solution in
yes,
German, which is quite,
exactly.
I mean, you know what it stands for, like, it stands for
Yes, yes,
like
yes,
the Holocaust,
exactly,
yeah, like killing all the
exactly.
Jews. So that's, is that what you intend to say with this?
Definitely, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Of course, of course.
okay. So they want to kill us with this vaccine or not?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I
okay.
mean, if you think about it, that's like what the proponents of mandatory vaccines, that's their mindset, right? Like bring a final solution by making people submit to our will and inject them or whatever. So I
Okay.
think that's a very good metaphor from the whole.
Quite dystopian, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What are your next
Great.
things you're working on?
Well, I'm working now in a new publication on Super Rare.
Mhm.
I was hoping to have it ready by now, but then I had a lot of conferences, and I'm flying to Miami the day after tomorrow, so I'm going to be busy this week. I hope maybe by next week it's going to be ready.
And new
I don't.
artwork, right? And new artwork.
My new
Okay,
artwork, yeah,
okay.
it's also going to be a little bit dystopian. I think it's going to be phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Every time, I'm not a very productive artist, meaning that I'm not drawing all the time and producing all the time like so many of my fellow artists, that they are like so productive. I can even imagine how they do it. So what I do and what keeps me inspired is that every time I make a new artwork, I try to make it a challenge for me. I try to use a new technique, or try to draw something difficult that I've never done before, or maybe try a more complex animation, and so on and so forth. So that's what keeps me motivated to do more art all the time. Like it's always a little bit more complex. My last few animations, maybe I don't know if we have the chance right now because they are not at hand, but I can you can check it out on my profile on my website. Some of my last animations are way more robust than my previous work, or like the work that I just showed you, because I've been working more with After Effects, and now I have a little bit more confidence with the software than before. So every time I'm publishing a new artwork, I try to get a new high ground in my technical expertise. Therefore, I hope you're gonna like it. This December, I'm gonna publish a new artwork on Super Rare, and it's gonna be dope. I think you're
Okay, yeah, I'm looking
I'm
forward to
really
it. Yeah,
excited. I like it
yeah,
very much.
yeah. What are the most exciting trends that you see in this new crypto art world? What are like new techniques or new ways to create art? What do you
Uh,
like the most?
Well, I'm excited about the technology, first of all, because I believe it's allowing us to do stuff that we didn't imagine a few years back. Like 3 years ago, we would never imagine that we will be selling digital goods online without restrictions, right? Like we will be exposed to a global market. That's amazing. But the part that it's very interesting also of that technology is the building of the communities. So I'm involved right now in different conversations with different platforms, and for instance, most of the platforms, they are taking this free market approach, right? Like we make auctions, and the highest bid wins the prize, and so on, and you can sell for as much as you want, and it's almost like a contest, and it's very capitalist. But on the other hand, there's other platforms like Dada, which are thriving to build a strong community around certain values of redistribution of wealth and compensating not just the artwork or the popularity of the artist, but also the engagement with the community, and try to build a universal basic income for the people inside their platform. So I believe that this technology allows for so many possibilities we can't even imagine. We will see very interesting outcomes in this decade that it's starting in this.
Okay,
That's what I'm more excited about.
good.
I believe we are seeing history on the works, and we are being part of that, and that's what makes me more excited. Also, one
Yeah,
more
yeah,
thing.
yeah. Sure, go ahead.
Uh, I don't dismiss the money aspect of this, because like it looks like a joke, but me as a pretty regular artist, I'm not famous, I'm not making the big gains, but selling a digital artwork for $600-900, that's a lot of money, and people are making a way more. And and if if we know that Ethereum at his all-time high 2 years or 3 years ago hit, I don't know, I think $1,300 or something. So even though people like me are making modest sales, that might be a lot of money in a few years. So that's also important. Like I'm not against trying to make big profits out of this. That's a big motivator as well. And
Sure.
I believe most of the artists around me, they align also with these ideas. They want to make money out of their work. And they for the first time, they are realizing that they might make a really good money out of what they do if they are talented, and they have demand for their work. So
Because you
that's
have the global market in your hands and not just a few gallerists, but it's much more open, right? Much more like a
exactly.
free market, not like a restricted elitist market, but it changes the whole business, right?
You're entirely right.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. You have a lot of exposition, global exposition. So, yeah, as long as your art is good and you have a fair amount of followers and collectors that are willing to pay you for what you do, you can make a pretty decent living out of your art, which is very rare compared to the rest of the history, right? Just
True. Yeah.
in history, just a very few amount of artists make all the gains, which is a little bit the same now, but everyone is a little bit better off. Even the average artist, like let's say like myself, that I'm not famous or anything, I could make a.
You will be after this interview.
I will. I think I will definitely.
You deserve it.
Of course.
Yeah, cool. Super.
What I mean is that if I compare myself to some of the big names right now in the crypto art scene, like, I don't know, Trevor Jones or Lucio Poletti, like those guys, everyone knows them and they have a lot of followers. So even though I'm not in that elite, I can make a very decent income for selling my art. And that's very powerful. That's very important. That's what I like. One of the things that I like the most.
Yeah.
I don't need to be a superstar to make a living out of my art.
Yeah, it's very, very fair, right? Really good for like the normal artists. Yeah, not everybody can be a superstar, but yeah, that's also an aspect I like it very much about it. Thank you so much, Gus. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
See you soon.
And goodbye, everyone.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
So if you want to be a guest in our show, please fill in the form and say why you should be invited. Show us some of your art or what else you're doing with crypto art. And hope to see you soon here. And everybody else, of course, also. Hope you enjoyed the show and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.